Today, in the world of cannabis, Canopy Growth, one of the biggest cannabis companies on the planet, just bought Supreme Cannabis for $435 million in stock. A native tribe in what is now known as New York announces plans to start recreational cannabis sales, and Virginia becomes the first U.S. state in the South region to recreationally legalize cannabis. It's Friday, April 9th, and this is your TRICHOMES Morning Buzz.
Broadcasting live from the TRICHOMES.com studios in Southern California. It's time for your Morning Buzz. We bring you late-breaking news that keeps you up to date with what's happening in the cannabis industry.
First up, Canopy Growth, one of the biggest cannabis companies on the planet, just bought Supreme Cannabis for $435 million in stock. The two are pleased to announce that they have entered into a definitive arrangement agreement under which Canopy will acquire all of Supreme Cannabis's issued and outstanding common shares in a transaction valued at approximately $435 million on a fully diluted basis. The transaction is expected to provide several benefits to both Canopy and Supreme Cannabis shareholders. Notably, following the completion of the acquisition, Canopy will possess a strengthened brand portfolio, including one of Canada's leading premium brands, 7 Acres. Brand growth is anticipated with distribution supported by Canopy's robust sales and distribution network, as well as superior consumer insights and R&D capabilities. In addition to receiving a market premium, Supreme Cannabis shareholders will also benefit from Canopy's U.S. CBD business and conditional positioning for continued exposure to the U.S. market expansion. Further value will be derived through the scalable Ontario production facility, which has a demonstrated record of producing premium flower at low cost.
Next up, following the recreational legalization of cannabis in New York State, a tribal leader announced that the Shinnecock Indian Nation, based on the eastern end of what is now Long Island, New York, will start construction on a cannabis production center on its Southampton reservation as the tribe considers recreational cannabis retail as a future potential source of revenue. The tribe is focusing on a collection of internal rules for regulating recreational cannabis purchases, according to recently re-elected tribal leader Brian Polite, and retail may begin between September and the year's end if it is approved by a tribal vote. Although the tribe intends for recreational cannabis rules to be similar to the state's legislation, Polite clarified that purchases on the reservation would be under the tribe's 100% jurisdiction. In the meantime, Polite said the nation is continuing to work on a medical cannabis cultivation project, with access to those with registered medical cards to begin soon. The nation is working with the tribal cannabis company Little Beach Harvest and plans to construct a modern dispensary, complete with a drive-through window and adjoining lounge.
And last up today, Virginia has become the first state in the South region of the U.S. to fully legalize cannabis. In 2015, Virginia lawmakers implemented medical cannabis legalization, and the new legislation expands cannabis access for recreational use. Adults 21 years or older would be allowed to consume and cultivate cannabis beginning in July. In addition, the state will establish a legitimate, controlled market, which is slated to begin in 2024. Individuals who have been convicted of cannabis offenses in the past may petition for reduced sentences or the sealing of the records. The proceeds from cannabis excise taxes will be used to fund education, equity projects, drug recovery, and healthcare services. Critics argue that legalizing cannabis could result in a massive cannabis market that will sell the substance carelessly. They refer to the U.S.'s history with the tobacco and alcohol sectors, which have formed their economic fortunes predominantly on the shoulders of their most frequent users. Legalization proponents contend that it prevents the negative consequences of cannabis interdiction, such as the alarmingly high number of convictions in the U.S., the ethnic inequalities in convictions, and the billions of dollars that funnel through the illegal underground market to drug traffickers. This time, advocates won out.
That was today's Buzz. Thanks for listening. For more cannabis news and insights from industry professionals and a place to discuss these stories and others, visit TRICHOMES.com.
And be sure to catch up with all of our other cannabis industry-related podcasts like Hash It Out, Careers in Cannabis, or the International Cannabis Conversation wherever you get your podcasts. For TRICHOMES.com, I'm David Fortin.
And I'm Devin Leal. Have a great weekend.